Morning everyone, this is Josh over at Silver Arrow Service. Today we're working on a 1981 Fiat 124 Spider. We did some work to this car about a year ago. Client got it from his father. It was running rough, had some issues. We ended up finding that the gas tank had basically rotted from the inside. It was sucking up a bunch of the rust and whatnot in the bottom of the tank. So we replaced the tank for him. And then over this past year, he must have backed into something or damaged the fuel tank, and so it's leaking. So today we're going to replace the fuel tank again. We got our parts from Vic's Auto Parts online. So we have a new tank, and we're also going to be replacing the muffler that has a hole in it. So it's a pretty simple, straightforward repair. There's 4 bolts or 4 nuts that hold it down, and then you use a silicone sealant to seal it to the trunk floor. You have your fuel sender here, which is just our level sensor. We have all our vent lines and fill lines and everything here and down here. And then these are the lines that go out to the pump. And we're gonna get everything disconnected and get this tank out. You have it on video, right? Mm-hmm. Sweet. Maybe I was a little wrong about the amount of gas. We got all the lines disconnected, including the fill line on the bottom. Now we're going to take the 4 13mm nuts off, and then we should be able to pry up and get the silicone off, and this tank's ready to come out. gonna scrape off all the old silicone. We'll probably get some black spray paint so that we can touch up any of these areas where you see some rust. Then we'll go in, get some new silicone. We'll silicone the new tank in, bolt it all down, connect everything up, and we'll be good to go. Gone ahead, cleaned up all the silicone, we ground all the rust off, and then basically, doesn't need to look pretty, but we're just spraying some black primer down just to protect the bare metal, and that will prevent any moisture from getting in between the new fuel tank and the silicone, and protect that metal so it doesn't rot out. So now this is the fuel level sensor in this car, and all we've done is just taken it off. There's 6 7mm nuts, and then it just lifts right off. Normally we would go ahead and replace the gasket, but because we just did this one, the gasket's still nice and soft, so I'm just going to carefully pry it off, and we'll transfer it over to the new tank and bolt it all back on. When you're installing the level sensor, it's very important to make sure you know where the float is, because if you put it in like this, it's obviously going to hit the side of the tank, or like that. You want to make sure that your float is facing an unobstructed view so that it will tell you the proper fuel level at all times. Now we're just going to run a thin bead of silicone all the way around the edge. the repair of the gas tank in this 1981 Fiat 124 Spider, just so everybody can see. This was the reason why we replaced it. The client clearly hit a rock or something. So, new fuel tank's in, we'll fill it with gas. This is not a restoration, just if anybody's wondering if we did anything that wasn't period correct. I do apologize to any of the Fiat purists out there, but the car is now safe, functional, and it's exactly what the client asked us to do. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can email us, call us, message us on Facebook. Phone number here is 603-566-2075. If you like this video, make sure to hit the button below. Thanks for watching.